ongoing protests in Chile. And, I mean, just enormous numbers of people protesting out of what started with attacks on WhatsApp.
It was a wage. No, WhatsApp's Lebanon. It was a fare hike on the subways.
Fair hike on the subway.
And then what really just one little disgusting twist. The initial response of the president was, if you can't afford the increase, you should ride during non-peak hours. So that was like, yeah, just leave home.
Don't worry about your job.
Yeah.
Let them eat cake.
And this basically triggered a massive protest. Like 1 out of every 18 or 17 Chileans were on the streets. I think it was last weekend. And the protests have been ongoing, and they're protesting austerity. This is, you remember, I don't know if you remember, but in 1973, September 11th, the Salvador Allende was ousted in a coup that was significantly, if not largely, if not totally, enabled by the CIA. Henry Kissinger was very excited to help out. I think it was the Kissinger 12 or 13. I don't know. This is going back to my undergrad days. And there was, significant U.S. corporate interests that were afraid of being nationalized, coup, and I think they brought down a lot of those Chicago University guys. Friedman, I think Milton Friedman went down there. They instituted basically austerity regimes that have been ongoing, more or less ebbing and flowing over the years.
Basically locking in capital power constitutionally.
And so let's start with, here is a Chilean protester disabling a surveillance camera right here, just to give you a sense of like how bold people are getting, right? And look at that.
Hell yeah. You got to watch it till the end, too.
I can't tell if that's a woman or a man. I think it's a woman. And she's climbing out on, and this stuff is high. I mean, that is like.
She's going to do a little trust fall now.
Whoa. Is that right? Holy cow.
Wow.
That's
Look at everyone celebrate spontaneously.
Oh my God. That's one of the most amazing things I've ever done. She disables this surveillance camera, and then instead, she can't climb down, and they just all agree to catch her, and she's dropping. I mean, it's hard to tell, but it feels like she's dropping at least 20 feet. Right? I mean, at least this
Has
thing
to be at least 20 feet.
That camera looks
25.
like it's 25 feet up in the air, and I'm saying dropping 20 feet into the hands of like people who are, maybe 5 feet tall, 6 feet tall, and they catch her. And it, and then in just another moment,
solidarity.
You see these folks who look to be of the age of who were probably in their 20s or so back during Allende's time, come out of their homes to cheer on the protesters who are younger. I mean, these people, I don't know how old they are, but I'm back of the envelope doing this. But check this out. That's very sweet.
It's incredible. I think that, one of the chants is that neoliberalism was born here and it's going to die here.
Mm-hmm.
And, but it's so important to look at that. I always think of Quinn Slobodian's book with this because
globalist.
the idea that liberalizing the economy was some type of like freedom enhancing deregulatory move. When in
Basically
fact,
liberal.
it's highly bureaucratic, highly regimented. And you had this, I mean, Chile, this incredible fusion where all of these freedom lovers like Milton Friedman and James Buchanan flew there and taught them how to privatize their social security system and create the kind of healthcare system that is, like similar to what we have. And while Pinochet was having people's stomachs cut open and thrown out of helicopters, that was the synthesis.
You can go
Right.
back to August of 29, 2018 to hear that interview with Quinn Slobodian, Globalist, the End of Empire and the Birth of Neoliberalism.
Like, I want to know, sorry.
Go ahead.
I want to know what it's going to take for all of these amazing movements that are popping off all over the world, Chile, Ecuador, Haiti, Lebanon, elsewhere, to kind of link together in some sort of socialist international and recognize that they have a common enemy and a common problem, and it's capitalism. Like, do we need an app? Like, what should we do?
That's what I was going to say. I think we need to wait for a billionaire to develop an app that will.
Would it be awesome if Steyer created an email listserv just to sucker people? Like, he was just like, I know how to exploit these DSA idiot kids. We need a global communist revolution. Put in your email.
I think what we need is a billionaire to develop an app that will connect all of these disparate movements, take their energy, and use it to create a cryptocurrency that they will control.
What were you going to say?
I think
Protest coin.
the whole thing about the repetition of the neoliberalism was born here and it's going to die here is a growing
That's it.
recognition that this is a global phenomenon.
Right.
And it is like,
Because I don't know that it actually started there.
it didn't, I
At least
mean,
that was like the first testing ground.
it was the first, you could say it was the first most raw neoliberal, like they had their way there fully,
Right.
the earliest. That is
and
true.
it
guess that is
very
actually
clearly links the violence of neoliberalism with the violence of the Pinochet government and the coup, which is important because people often think of neoliberalism as this like passive milquetoast thing, and it's not.
It's force plus finance.
Let's Katie